If you're planning your next move and you have Tampa Bay on your radar, pause right there and you may want to think twice. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things you have to be able to handle if you're planning a move to the Tampa Bay area. And hey, take it from a local. I've lived here 10 years and I'm also a realtor, so I help many buyers relocate to the area. And I can tell you these are 5 reasons or 5 things that definitely stop people in their tracks when they're making a move to the Tampa market. So let's go ahead and get into it. Thing number 1 is for sure insurance and affordability. Insurance is a big problem all throughout the state of Florida, and of course it's a problem here in the Tampa Bay area. I'm talking things like car insurance. My husband and I pay nearly $900 a month for 2 cars, and we have an excellent driving record, so we have high car insurance, but we also have high housing insurance. And this is something that definitely catches people off guard. So as an agent, the number 1 thing we're looking for is the age of roofs, if you're in a flood zone, what the age of the AC is, because these are all things that are going to affect the insurance premiums. And insurance here can run anywhere between $2,000 to $7,000 a year annually. And of course, you may even have to add in flood insurance because yes, all of Florida is swampland and a giant flood zone. It's just what areas are least prone to flooding. So you may also need to carry flood insurance, which definitely affects your affordability and housing costs. So these are all things that we tell our buyers up front, like, hey, listen, insurance is a big issue here. Now, here's the caveat. My team and I have been able to help buyers just like you get home insurance for fantastic pricing. I'm talking things like right around $70 to $100 a month for really great home insurance coverage. So that spans probably right around $1,200 a year. New construction is a fantastic route if you're trying to save costs on home maintenance as well as reduce your insurance bills. So if you're curious to know what the insurance rate would look like for you if you're planning a move here to the Tampa market, reach out to our team. We want to help guide you every step of the way to make sure that you are accounting for all of the things that may catch you off guard when you're making a move to the Tampa market. All right, so number 2 is the traffic and car dependence. So unless you are living like in downtown Tampa, you live, work, and play there, and you're able to get around on an electric bike or an electric scooter, and you have everything really close by, you pretty much need a vehicle to get around. Now, when people think Tampa, they automatically assume that it's literally just the city of Tampa, but the Tampa Bay area is vast. It's a huge metro. It encompasses Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco counties, among others. And there's huge driving distances. So you can expect to travel anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to get around anywhere, unless you're hyper local and in a very strategic area. So if you're commuting from Wesley Chapel down to downtown, it's about a 30-minute drive. Down to the airport, about a 30-minute drive. You could be driving 30 minutes to the beach. You get my point. So you definitely need a car, and there's quite a bit of traffic. So definitely I-4 is a highway you want to avoid. It's one of the most dangerous highways in America. There's car accidents there literally every single day. There's parts of town that you want to avoid during peak rush hour traffic. Brandon Boulevard, definitely don't want to be there during the weekend. If you're in Wesley Chapel, you want to avoid State Road 56 and parts of 54 during morning drop-off, taking your kids to school, or doing the afternoon pickup. If you are on Howard Franklin Bridge, you can pretty much know that it's going to be a parking lot during certain times of the day. So traffic is a big thing here, and of course it's going to be relative depending on what metro you're moving from. Like if you're from New York or LA, you're like, oh, that's a breeze, no big deal. But just know we do have traffic. If this is something that is important to you, reach out to our team because we can pinpoint you exactly in the neighborhood or area you need to live in in order to have a really short commute time or drive down to work so that you're avoiding all of the traffic in the area. By the way, my team and I help buyers just like you relocate to the area. We put together custom relocation tours to help pinpoint exactly the area that fits the lifestyle and what you're looking for. So reach out to our team, call, text, or email. We'd love to set up a meeting with you to really get to know what you love and what you don't love. Even if you tell us 2 or 3 things that you absolutely love, we can pretty much pinpoint you in the general area or neighborhood. If you're interested in new construction, we can even pinpoint you in the right community and builder, even down to the street and house that would be the right fit for you. So reach out to our team. Plus, we also create custom bespoke relocation tours and self-guided tours. If you absolutely love, the beach and the outdoors, we'll put together a relocation tour and you're able to go check out all of those fun places when you come down here and check out the area, so that not only are you looking for the right home, community, and neighborhood, you also want to make sure it fits your right lifestyle. So we're here to help guide you every single step of the way. Reach out to our team so we can schedule a one-on-one consultation with you. Number 3 is the heat and the humidity. Now, this is something that people absolutely love about living in Florida. It's the year-round sunshine. We average right around 264 days of sun throughout the year. But with that, you also have the awful humidity. I'm talking anywhere between like May and October. You pretty much know that when you walk outside at 8 a.m., your sunglasses or your glasses are going to get completely fogged up by the humidity. You definitely plan workouts or outdoor things based on the weather to stay away from the high peaks of humidity during certain parts of the day. Even during certain parts of the day, you also, don't even want to go outdoors, don't walk your dogs. It's just literally unbearable during certain parts of the day. But honestly, I can put up with that because we have some other really incredible things, but it's definitely something that catches people off guard. And like I said, I've lived here 10 years and I still haven't been able to get 100% used to the humidity, but maybe it's because I grew up in California and that's the extreme opposite. Huge drought areas, and it's very, very dry. So also with that, we have pretty much guaranteed thunderstorms every single day of the summer. Right around the afternoon hours of like 1 to 5 o'clock, you definitely want to plan around those things. But the storms, as quickly as they arrive, they leave. And also a funny thing about the area is, and only the locals will know this, like you can be in one neighborhood in Tampa and it's pouring rain, and maybe you're calling your friend who lives maybe 15 minutes away and it's bright and sunny where they're at, and you're like, oh, just wait, the storm is headed your way. So that's pretty common knowledge here in the area. I remember when I was planning my wedding, I had literally just moved to Florida. We were planning our wedding and we made the mistake of planning our wedding in June. That was dumb, a total rookie mistake, because we had to have a plan B for our cocktail hour. We had an indoor ceremony, an outdoor cocktail hour planned, and then an indoor reception, but we definitely had to have a plan B in place just in case it rained that day, because then that would have wreaked havoc on the cocktail hour. Thankfully, that was literally the only day that week that it did not rain, so we were able to go with our plan as usual without any issues with the weather. It was still incredibly hot and humid, but at least it didn't rain on my wedding day. So those are definitely things that you kind of have to be aware of and plan around, but definitely once you're here, you're used to all of the rain and the thunderstorms. By the way, if you're loving this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of the future uploads all about living in the Tampa Bay area. And number 4 is hurricanes and flooding. All of Florida is a giant flood zone. It's just what areas are least prone to flooding here in Florida. So you definitely have to carry flood insurance in certain areas. And then certain areas flood even with just a regular summer afternoon thunderstorm. I'm talking areas like Shore Acres, Bayshore Boulevard, parts of like South Tampa. Just with a regular thunderstorm, you can very well expect flooding in those areas. Now, with hurricanes, historically, thankfully, the Tampa Bay area was really blessed for many decades where we didn't have hurricanes hit us head on. With that said, in 2024, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, 2 storms did hit the Tampa area and cause great devastation to many parts of our community. Many people lost their homes. Many people had damage to their homes because hurricanes are a real thing. Now, here's the thing with hurricanes. One of the positive things about hurricanes is that you know far in advance, number one, when hurricane season is. It runs June through November. So you can be prepared with your hurricane kit. You can be prepared well in advance. With that said, there's many Floridians that don't take these storms seriously, and many people wait until the last minute to actually prepare for the storm. So as soon as the weatherman starts announcing a hurricane coming to the area, you can pretty much expect price gouging on things like water, batteries, generators, non-perishable food, drinks, that sort of thing. People will skyrocket the prices. You can pretty much expect all of the shelves at Publix and Costco to be completely empty. People act like it's the apocalypse or the great takeover or something. They raid all of the stores and people just kind of go crazy over it. So there's 2 extremes. Like, yes, you can be very prepared and you can have your stuff ready to go well in advance. And then there's people who wait like last minute and it's just chaos. Another thing with that, if you are not in an evacuation zone, you don't technically have to evacuate, but many people do leave the area, obviously, to get into a place that has safety. Now, the thing with storms is that they can predict, yes, it's going to hit, let's say, Tampa, and this happened about 8 years ago. They said, a huge storm is going to hit Tampa, and everybody in Tampa prepared, and they said it was going to be the most catastrophic storm in the area. Many people evacuated. The highways and interstates were complete parking lots for hours or almost even days with people trying to evacuate the state. And then last minute, the storm took a turn and ended up hitting the central Florida area near Orlando. So the hurricanes are pretty unpredictable, but again, you can prepare well in advance. Things do get, kind of crazy. So if hurricanes are a big fear of yours, or you're trying to stay away from areas that are more prone to being hit by hurricanes, let my team and I know, because then we can pinpoint you, get you a little bit further inland to avoid storm surge or catastrophic flooding and things of that nature. And last but not least is number 5, bugs and wildlife. We are in Florida, so you can pretty much expect bugs. We have palmetto bugs, which are like giant cockroaches that actually fly. In the spring and parts of the fall, you can expect love bugs, and they're these pesky little bugs that fly around everywhere and hit your windshield or get on the paint of your car and can actually ruin the paint on your car if you don't wipe them off or wash your car. So it's a given. The other huge thing we have here is frogs and lizards, and it catches all of my out-of-state buyers by surprise. And then the number one thing I hear from relocation buyers, just like you moving to the area, is, hey, I do not want a home near a pond or water because I don't like alligators. Alligators are a thing here. We have the Florida Gators. It's a mascot. Gators are a common thing here. So it's very common that you can be out walking your dog and walk by one of the community ponds or community lakes. And yes, you will find a 7-foot-long gator sunbathing. For the most part, they don't like to be messed with. They don't like to be bothered, and they really don't bother other people. But still, if you don't like gators, you can expect them to be in your backyard, in your pond, in your lake, things like that. It's also very common to find turtles crossing streets. You can also find deer in certain areas of greater Tampa. Right in my neighborhood, right around 1 or 2 in the morning, you can drive around the community and see a bunch of deer and wildlife. So if you are afraid of the gators, I definitely recommend having a screen enclosure in your patio or your lanai area, screening that off in order to keep, number one, all of the bugs out and the gators away. And then pest control is going to be on speed dial if you decide to live here, because you know, you have pests and insects and bugs pretty much year round. So honestly, it doesn't really bother me personally, but it is something that bothers a lot of people. So I always like to kind of just throw that out there and let people know we are in Florida. It is swampland. Bugs, gators, and insects are a big thing here. So if these 5 things don't absolutely scare you away, I think you would definitely enjoy living in the Tampa Bay area. It is an incredible place to live, and I absolutely love living here. If you enjoyed this video, I'll link my pros and cons of living in the Tampa Bay area so you really get the full picture on exactly what it's like to live here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.